Howdy fellas, Frankie Day here on YouTube. Okay guys, for this Tuesday evening, I got done a video update on my AT-6 Texan, my spring build. I didn't get a chance to finish up on my BV222. Right now she's still sitting pretty over there. And I'll sneak in a picture of her, during this video. And something else special too I gotta bring up for you fellas also, after this review is over on the Texan. Okay guys, I've been sticking with the Texan for a while. Everything is all done. Wings all finished, tail feathers all done. I got the fuselage completely covered in tissue. And dry fitted a lot of parts here and there on, make sure everything fits well before I do the assembling, which is usually done generally after the model is covered. So anyway folks, on this AT-6 Texan, it's going pretty good. It's going to be a flying model. I don't know how many ounces it weighs, but if I can get it down less than 26 ounces, I'll be very happy. And like I say, Dumas uses contest balsa, which is very light micrometer toleranced, and so it's a lot more lighter than the balsa you get in kits such as Globemaster. And this, of course, the fuselage bulkheads, this thing has already got built-in lightning holes in already, so that takes a lot of weight out of the balsa. So a little hint here, fellas: anybody's got any balsa kits like the old Sterling kits, Globemaster, for example, also, which is a good example. When you get when your die cut wing ribs, and when you cut your wing ribs out, always good to cut a good portion of the center out. Gives them a good lightning holes and makes your balsa a lot more lighter. Because in other words, those squirrel kits are very hard to fly. No matter how good or how skilled you are in building one of those things, somehow about their kits along with Sterling, they're just too heavy because a lot of balsa is too much balsa on there. So you got to kind of trim down. So those are, you got to make a lot of lightning holes here and there. That way you can be able to, keep the weight of the airplane. Now, like I said before, fellas, a bird in an airplane is worse than its weight. And to avoid all that, you just got to learn how to build light but build strong. Okay, guys, getting back to this AT-6 Texan by Dumas. It's a good kit, fellas. Any of you guys out there who are balsa wood builders will find their kits very delightful and very enjoyable to build. Even beginners have no problem building these things. With the technology nowadays, and of course with the beautiful state of art of laser cutting, which makes building much of an ease. Too much of an ease right there, and makes building a pleasure without fuss. Okay guys, we're going to swing this camera around, take a look at my AT-6 Texan and show you how far I got on it. Right now nothing's glued down. I don't glue nothing down until when it's time for to glue that part down. So balsa models, like paper models and plastic models and balsa, they all have a different method of construction when you're building the model. So that's one thing that's really fabulous in the art of modeling, is no matter what kind of material you material with, it's got its own method of construction. Okay guys, we'll swing this around here and take a look at the AT-6 Texan and show you how much I got on it, and swing it back to camera truly and give you a little fast sneak peek on my BV222 and show you what else I got today. I think you'll like this. Okay guys, here goes the camera, and we're swinging around over here. Okay, there she is, boys. Here she is right here. Like I say, the cockpit comes off. It goes on. It's going to be masked down and airbrushed and painted. I haven't used no Cryline clear. When you guys, here's a tip for your fellas. I think I showed this to you before on here on eBay. Not on eBay, but excuse me guys, I'm just rambling here. On the YouTube here. I highly recommend this, guys. I've been building balsa models for many years. And the old-fashioned formula method of this is dope. I got a bunch of this. This is traditional use. It smells like banana oil. You guys use this stuff, use proper ventilation, because I kid you not, it'll stink up the house. You get the missus mad at you. She'll throw you on the couch and you will not like it. So use a lot of ventilation. This stuff here is being superseded by using water-based cements like this, like for example, my Type Bond I use right here. And with this Type Bond here is the best cement I use. I always use this. I liquid down and put it in a little cup like this, mix a little water with it, and brush it on. Brush one coat on, let it dry. Come back, brush on another one, and put your pieces on there. It goes together in a snap. No fuss, no muss. It's not better to use this stuff, fellas. There's nothing wrong using this acrylite glues to use. I mentioned this a lot of times, especially on my balsa wood builds I do here. This is good stuff, I kid you not. I mean, this is a modeler's dream right here. And it has this, but the only downfall, which is very bad, you really got to take heat in it, is that this stuff is made out of cyanide. And you got any cuts on you like that? I mean, not cuts, but if you get the stuff in your system, especially if you breathe the fumes that it gives off, and also the fumes get in your eyeballs, it can destroy your eyes, it can destroy your lungs as well. And you get cyanide poisoning and you be in oxygen the rest of your life. And you won't like it. I know a lot of good model builders that fell victim of cyanide poisoning from using these type of glues. So if you have to use any of these, make sure just take heed and using it a little bit of time. Always wear eye gear and also a respirator mask, something like that, so you don't breathe them fumes. Because I kid you not, Phil, you take some of this and you put it on balsa right here, it'll start vaporizing like smoke. And that's when it gets you right there. You can get a good lung full of that stuff right there. When it expires like that, you could be infected, and it really gets you pretty bad. So I kind of shy away from that. Use that for running in the trouble glue. That's what I call it. So I'll go right back and use this here. It's my famous Type Bond. Even Elmer's Carpenter's glue works just as well too, fellas. So the best way to adhere your wood to your glue to your wood is make quite certain you water down and put it in a little cup or something. About the thickness of heavy cream, that's what you want it. Take your brush, brush on a little bit here where you're going to put your part at. Come back a couple minutes, redo it again. Add your piece to it, and you're good to go. And make sure all your parts are sanded well too, fellas. Just like that when you trim plastic off with your knife or sanding board. Okay, guys, as far as I got on this, I got the cockpit completely covered. The empennage back here where the tail feathers join up, they got to be they'll be done last once the tail feathers, stabilizer and the rudder is covered. Once it's in place, they'll be covered last using tissue. And cowling's all done. Cowling's been filled right here with my famous primary choice. I'll sand that down well with wet and dry sandpaper. Shoot a light coat of primer on it and airbrush yellow to match the tissue. Of course, I got my landing gear all done. You didn't see it quite well before. It was more or less inside that baggie. And I took it out of the bag, and once I take it out of the bag, I'm going to go ahead and hook up to the airplane. Excuse me, fellas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the bottom wing first. Don't cover the top. I'll cover the bottom first. That way I can attach my landing gear, make sure it's secure. Then I'll go ahead and cover the top of my wing. Once the wing is all completely covered, it'll be joined to the fuselage and glued in position. And I'll go ahead and add my fillets on top of my wing dihedros where they break at. And if I get this down to about 26, 25, 26, 24 to 26 ounces, I'll be very happy. This thing should fly quite well with about 4 to 6 strands of rubber. So I got some rubber right now. Got it soaking in a bag full of some good green soap, which is excellent. It has glycerin in it, which makes a very excellent lube for your rubber. You get more turns. You can stretch that rubber out a mile long and crank into the handle, get about 1,600 turns, and watch your airplane hunt for heaven. Because these airplanes are well trimmed and well built. You'd be surprised how good these things fly. Because I've seen them on YouTube before. Once they get out there in the thermals, you know, just like a buzzard, you know, and when they get in the thermals, they can last forever up there flying around. You actually eventually you can lose them if you ain't careful. I know a couple of friends of mine that belong to the Flying Aces. They've lost a couple good airplanes that way. Got lost in the thermals, man, and it took it way, way and beyond. And eventually was lost. Well, anyway, fellas, as far as I got. So next video, I showed this thing. Next video, this thing is going to be pretty much done. The wings will be covered and it'll be in built in entirety. It'll probably be at the stage of just a couple things being done for the final reveal. Well, I'll get that BV222. I've been too busy on that, fellas. I had a bit of a problem that happened to me yesterday. I was going down to my favorite hobby shop to get some building materials, and my transmission, my truck went out, and so that's gonna set me up a few $100. So I decided, what the hell? This truck is 16 years old. It's time for old Frankie Day to go out and buy a brand new truck. Now, if I could buy plastic and balsa wood, I could buy a truck. So I went out and got my new truck, so I got picked up tomorrow. So I'm very happy with that. So I got back pay for my Social Security. That really spicened up the punch bowl. In other words, that, folks, I'm a happy man. Got lots to be grateful for. Okay, guys, we're going to swing this camera back to yours truly. I'm going to finish the video, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the BV222 and show you what I got today. Okay. I'm going to put the cigar down. I'm going to burn a hole in my shirt. Oh, here I am, fellas. Here I am. I back off with too much of a face right there. Okay, gentlemen. This is about as far as I got of the BV2. I got all masked down. I already shot a color of black green, Schwartz green. The other areas is going to be masked off. It's going to be painted olive green. The underside, of course, is all painted blue. Not hollow brow, but blue. And this is a beautiful flying boat. So next time you see this thing's going to be done. All that is need to do to finish this here airplane is mask off and finish up the camo, paint, add the props, clear parts, decals, done. Okay, we're going to put the mighty BV222 over here, and she's going to get painted tomorrow. Okay, guys. I got this today. I got this from eBay. Now this here's a $178 kit, but I got it for $125. And I normally don't buy too much off there, fellas. Let me zoom this camera a little more here. There we go. This is the Emigrant all resin kit. 1/72 scale, C-124 Globemaster. It's known as Old Shaky. Now, C-124 Globemaster was one hell of an airplane. She was actually the second Globemaster of the Douglas cargo aircraft and designs. The first one was the C-74 Globemaster 1. But this thing was redeveloped and redesigned by Douglas engineers, made a much huger fuselage frame. But they kept the wing, the power plant, the horizontal and vertical stabilizer. They kept. Only thing they did is redesign the fuselage. And that's the birth of the C-124 Globemaster, which entered service as late as 1949. And she was used exclusively through Korea. And though Shaky was phased out of the Air Force by the late 1960s, because I flew on one all the way from Fairfield, California, Travis Air Force Base, flew out there all the way there for Clark Field in the Philippines. And And it was about a good 17, 18 hour ride in that old drafty airplane. It had 2 decks. When you entered the airplane, you got a flight deck, which is your normal deck. They call it the tank deck. Now for extra troops, which they carried us, they carried, that thing at the time carried Naval, Army, Marine, and Air Force personnel. We're all being transferred from this location to here. So they load us all up on a Globemaster. When you enter the C-124 Globemaster, you look overhead, you'll see the cargo deck, which opens up on top. It twices down like this. It allows hammocks where people actually can sit down, all netted in. And down below, you got more hammocks and more seating material there. So you can carry up to 300 people in this thing. Because I know one thing for a fact, we took off from Travis Air Force Base in Old Shaky, there was over 200 men there. And I was very surprised we got off the ground. And I was kind of scared. You know, you look out a window, a porthole window about this big around, you can see the wings of the boy just flopping. It's kind of scary. But hey, they got to have some kind of a give. That's force and reaction. So that's the nature of the beast. It was a very reliable airplane for its day. Okay, guys, this kit is composed of resin. It's not a multimedia kit with injection parts and white metal parts, and it's all resin. But the landing gear is resined, but for the substructure, the skeletal structures of the landing gear itself, it was all wire, but they formed the resin around the wire. So that's not the only part that is on there. And the fuselage comes in 2 halves. And I was toying this thing a while ago. This thing is a thick, meaty airplane. The fuselage comes in 2 aft and 2 forward sections, give you 4 pieces, which makes the fuselage. Let me show you here for an example here, guys. I don't want to make a review out of this. Just something to kill time a little bit, just to submit this video I just made here on my AT-6 Texan. Okay, guys, as you can see, the fuselage comes in 2 halves, and you got this half here. You got the second half over here. You got that over here. I thought I had the right one. Yeah, here we go. This thing is made out of thick resin. It's about a good 1/8 of an inch thick. Now this thing is a BD airplane. This is the forward fuselage section, and this here is the aft fuselage section. So you join them together, and you get a Globemaster. So there's a lot of work on this thing here. I think it's all resin, fellas. With this resin, you got to do a lot of filing and everything. The landing gear is very well executed on here. It's the first time I ever bought an anagram kit before. You can see how detailed the landing gear, the nose wheel well is. And they still got the old entry door too, because a lot of them, there's about 3 ways of entering a Globemaster. From the front section, even from the nose wheel section, there's a little door opens up with a ladder. You can go right to the wheel well and take you all the way up to the tank deck. From the tank deck, there's a ladder goes all the way up to the cockpit up here where the flight deck's at. So I did a tour in this thing plenty of times, fellas. When I was aboard this thing, I got tired of sitting down in that darn netty old hammock I was sitting in, so I decided, what the hell, you know, I might as well get around, circulate, and talk to some of the flight crew, which I did, pass the time. And believe you me, guys, it was very, I had a lot of good education on it. And I've ever seen these fly when I was about 8, 9 years old when they first came out back in the 40s. So anyway, fellas, that's about as much on there on this. And that kind of completes the video for the night. So that was kind of like a good Tuesday double feature right there. You get about 3 subjects on one video, ain't bad. Okay, guys, so on the next video, this thing will be pretty much done in its entirety. So far right now, I've got to cover the tail feathers and get them in position. and get them once they're done. I gotta finish up on the tail